Oh, please come on in. Our guest has arrived. Ann Meyers Drysdale is joining us right here.
It's really you.
Right here. This is your headset.
That's, hugs. There we go. You know what I'm talking about. Bring it in tight.
I'll hand that to you right there.
Yes.
Go ahead and I know you know your way around a headset as well. It's good to see you, Annie. Thank you for coming by.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There we go. Turn that on.
Now we can hear her.
We were just talking about, losing teammates. Teammates move on. I mean, you bond, and then, somebody graduates or gets a different contract. You got to dap them up. I love you, and I'll see you on the floor. It's just how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Move on from there.
It's different, but it's different, too, today where a lot of the athletes, they start at, 12 years old, and they're all playing tournaments in Chicago or Dallas or Philly or whatever, and they know each other since they're 12 years old, and then they get to the pros, and they all know each other.
Yeah.
They're friendly, this and that, but back in the 60s, I remember talking to Deacon Jones, and Deke said, oh, no. Oh, no, these guys are not my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you learned that pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Ann Meyers Drysdale is our guest here on DeMarco and Travis. She is one of the honorees at tonight's Orange County Sports Awards, which is coming up later on tonight. And, looking at your resume, 4-time All-American at UCLA, an Olympic silver medalist, of course, a Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer, the first woman to sign a professional contract with an NBA team. Is there something for you that is at the top of the list? Because I couldn't pick between all of those things. Is there something that jumps to the top for you?
My 3 children.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
My husband and my 3 children. I've been blessed in so many ways coming from a family of 11 children. So, so many incredible people have been supportive of me and being in the right place at the right time. But, when you come home with a trophy and you got 3 others saying, hey, we got a trophy too, it's like a big deal.
So, who didn't get a trophy?
That's right. That's right.
What does it mean to you, everything you've accomplished, but to see the growth in women's sports, not just collegiately but professionally, the opportunities that now exist? What does that mean to you to watch?
No, it's great. I'm a product of Title IX back in 1972 when they passed the law, and in 1975 I was the first to get a full athletic scholarship at UCLA, and my brother David was there playing for Coach Wooden. So, being a part of that and understanding maybe not then what it was all about, these young women to be able to do a sport that they love and enjoy, whether it's soccer, whether it's swimming, golf, tennis, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is, softball, and the fact that there's so many outlets. When I was growing up, we had 3 stations, and now because of ESPN and now because of social media and now because of podcasts and you're on, Prime Ticket, you're on Peacock, you're on Hulu, you're on there's so many outlets. But the fact that there is a viable women's professional basketball league, which we had in 1978-79, the WBL, which really kind of kick-started things off. And actually the 76 Olympics, which is the first time they had women's basketball in the Olympics. And but they have the WNBA 30 years in, and the contract, the CBA, what they accomplished, the salaries, still not enough.
Right.
Still not enough compared to what the men are making. But in saying that, it's a step forward, and really proud of these young women.
Absolutely. What do you think of the state of the game, just basketball in general, where we are, how it's being played? What do you think of the state of the game right now?
It's physical.
Yeah?
It's physical, and I think you get referees that call it differently at different times, and different players get different calls. That's both on the men's and the women's side. The three-point shot has changed the game. They talk about 5 out, and they want you don't have that post-up center, which I am a big proponent of it. I still like it. I like the high-low post, and Wemby is he's just something else.
What do you do?
But I mean, people said that about Russell and Chamberlain. I mean, those 2 guys were athletes. They both ran track, and Wilt did volleyball and played other sports and so forth. But, now there's just such a focus on that's the only sport you do, which I'm not a big proponent of. I think, cross-training is doing other sports that we did as kids, and you don't get burned out. And a lot of injuries today because of the kind of training that is just so focused on what that sport is.
Play everything.
Is football the same way?
Same way. We're becoming football players too soon. Play everything and let your body decide what you're going to be. That's what I always say.
So my sister and Kathy, we went to a preseason Cardinal game last year, and it was against the Chiefs, and so Mahomes and Kelsey, they were in for like 2 plays. And in the old days, I mean, preseason was about getting in shape, getting your timing, your snaps, and your blocks and so forth. And it's for your starters. Now it's like, oh, no, we don't want to get hurt. And now there's, 18 games?
Yeah, 17. Is it 18 now?
Soon to be 18.
Soon to be 20.
Yeah.
There you go.
And how many days do you play?
Yeah, well,
Sunday, Monday, Thursday. How does
he's
your
got
body?
a theory.
How does your body recover?
I have a theory, and we're getting closer every year, that before too long there's going to be an NFL game every night of the week. and because the only
and
day
overseas
left,
too.
Yeah, the only day left is Tuesday. Yeah. We've got every other day covered. So,
but how do you
not?
recover as a football player?
As best you can. The Rams are going to Australia.
Yeah.
To play a football game. Imagine that. Have you played a sport in Australia? Have you traveled that far and played?
Oh, yeah.
What's it like playing over there? What's the plane ride like? Tell me.
No, it's long. It's long. Been to Soviet Union. Been a lot of those countries, and they're long. They're long travels. And then even coming back, that's the adjustment too.
Yeah,
coming back and getting on the clock all over
Starting
again.
all over again, yeah.
Ann Meyers Drysdale is our guest here on the DeMarco and Travis show. She's one of the honorees at tonight's OC Sports Awards. And kind of going back to what you were talking about, the WNBA 30 years in, when you started, and you mentioned there was a professional league in the late 70s, did you know that we would get to where we are right now eventually? That it was going to take much longer than anybody might have wanted, but that we would get here eventually? Or are you still surprised that the league is as vibrant and as successful as it is?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm just excited because of what they have been able to accomplish. And everything's a step, things that didn't exist before. And I just always believe. I have hope. It's like if you're on a losing streak, I mean, you got the next game. Mm-hmm. You're not going to play and things aren't working out, but you got to get ready for the next game. And the same thing here is the fact that the thing that really got me excited about the league and the women's voices was COVID. And the fact that these 144 women changed the law in Georgia. They changed the vote. Black Lives Mattered. I mean, the women's voices were very much heard during that time, and especially through the WNBA. The fact that the CBA and Neko Gumake, being the president of the CBA, the Players Association, just strong women. Their voices are being heard, and they're not stepping back. And I think the WNBA has created a lot of that. Like I look at soccer, Megan Rapinoe was kind of that voice. Mm-hmm. Who is it now since she's retired? Billie Jean King has been that voice, I think, for a lot of women in sports and what she did in tennis back in the early 70s and so forth. So, I think each sport kind of has to have women that are stepping up and.
Well, you were one of those women. You were one of the people that was one. I was telling the story earlier when we were mentioning that you were going to come on the show, and when you tried out with the Indiana Pacers, I was 8 years old. And I remember it didn't add up.
Young man, you.
Right? And it was one of those things, and even at 8 years old, I'm thinking, wait, hold on a second. What do you mean she's going to try out for a men's team? And so you start to look into it. You start to ask questions about things like that. Was that part of the decisions that you made when you did sign with the Pacers? Obviously, you wanted to play basketball. Obviously, you wanted to go out there and do the best you can as an athlete. But to make a mark on people with a decision like that?
Well, I go back to the early days of growing up with 5 brothers and 5 sisters, always playing between my brothers and their friends, and I was between 2 boys, and going out and always on the playground, whether we were playing, football in the street or over the line or, pick up basketball on the playgrounds, and you're always out playing. And so for girls in our family, it was accepted to play sports. Mm-hmm. And so when I got out into school, it wasn't. It was frowned upon a little bit more, and I didn't understand why, because I was just doing something that I loved doing with my brothers. And so in 5th grade, they had started an after-school sports program for boys in basketball, and my parents had to go through the school district and the principal and get okayed for me to play in 5th and 6th grade basketball. And from there, going to high school here in Orange County. Between my junior and senior year, I played on the boys basketball team during the summer league. And so I had hoped to play during the school season. And but, when you're in high school, people say things about you emotionally and physically. And so I got talked out of it. But door opened up for me to play USA basketball. And that was the first time I was able to play and represent our country. Who would have thought 5 years later that I'd get an offer to try out in the NBA? My brother David was already in the NBA playing. And I looked back 5 years before, and I said I wasn't going to let people talk me out of it.
I mean, when the offer came,
I was playing USA basketball.
Yeah.
We had won a championship at UCLA and was getting ready to play on the 1980 Olympic team. I was the captain of the – we had just gotten back from the Soviet Union, Russia, and we were getting ready to go to the World University Games in Mexico. And the call came, and certainly when I was at UCLA, and my brother David was a senior with Coach Wooden, and it was a human interest story. So a lot of people took off on that, and I think a lot of people knew who we were. And so the new owner of the Indiana Pacers, I get a call out of the blue. I have no idea. He said, "Hey, how would you like to try out for the Pacers?" And I'm like, "Oh, who is this?" And I wanted to go on another Olympic team. And so it was a very hard decision. I made the decision before Jimmy Carter boycotted. Mm-hmm. And I thought it's an opportunity of a lifetime that most men don't get.
Okay.
You know? And it was a free agent rookie camp. I was not drafted.
Okay.
And,
Super.
How would you, when you went to camp, what was that like?
Yes.
Like all of a sudden you're out there with
because
pros.
You said you played with your brothers, so playing against boys is normal to you. But there are some guys that have never played against a girl before. So how would you handle that? How did you handle that?
Well, isn't that the process, the journey of life?
Yes.
You know, when you're out on the court, and you know, it's like, I mean, I played all the time, whether it pick up games down at the beach in Laguna, or pick up games at the high schools or Cal State Fullerton, and you know, you're just always out there playing. So yeah, guys say certain things, and you get hit, and you get back up, and you learn to play. And being at UCLA, playing at Pauley Pavilion with a lot of pros that would come in and so forth, I played. So you learn to get confidence. You learn to have a little bit thicker skin. Mm-hmm. So in the tryout, and I understood that a lot of guys had never played against women, so they're out there playing defense and they're feeling something that they're not used to feeling out there. so they're the ones that is like, I'm like, well, okay. Yeah. But you know, it's like if they block my shot, it's like no big deal. It's only a girl. Mm-hmm. If I made my shot, you let some girl beat you.
Right.
So it's harder on you guys emotionally and mentally, because you don't want some girl beating you.
I figured by the third play, we're going to play.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And Jack McCloskey was one of the assistants. As a matter of fact, it was a tough transition because Slick Leonard was the head coach. He came out to California several times to talk me out of it. He did not want to deal with this.
Wow.
Really?
And put, you know, the organization in a situation where it was a media circus and so forth, which that was never my intent. And but certainly when we got out there, you know, like you were saying, that the guys were a little timid, they didn't know what to do, and Jack McCloskey, I think it was a 3-day, 2-day practice. We had 2 days for 3 days, and then they would make a cut and so forth. So I think after the second practice, McCloskey called everybody over to the circle with some very salty language. You know, just said, "Hey, she's out here for a job just like you guys," and I think that really helped them. It's like, just play.
Just go play.
And if I got knocked down, you get back up. You know, and it was hard because there was one drill, I get knocked down, and the guy, "Oh, Annie, are you okay? You okay?" It was a natural reaction, and I was okay, but, you know, you just deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Guys, because, you know, obviously you played at UCLA, you had a lot of success there. Now to see this program where they are and the fact that they were so dominant this year on their way to the national championship, I mean, just your thoughts on kind of the current state of the UCLA program.
So excited. Cori Close has done such a great job, and she's such a follower of Coach Wooden. And I think last year when they were in the Final Four and they got their butts kicked, it was a good transition for them in the sense of understanding what it meant to be in the Final Four, because it's not just playing. You know, you're dealing with the media. You got to do interviews on this. You got to be here. You got to be, you know. So I think that, again, because of social media, and it's such a different time where, you know, when my brother was in the championships, I mean, they were just secluded. You know, you just focus on the game, and now with so much exposure, it's really hard. And but I think losing last year, and they lost 6 players from last year's from that team, so they had new players come in. But you know, with Jaquez back and Betts back and Kiki Rice, and there was such joy, and nobody cared who was scoring. Nobody cared about, you know, stats or anything like that. And they had so much fun playing together, and there was such a sisterhood. And you know, you were happy for them.
Yeah,
it's so rare.
How much money do you think she makes for NIL?
Oh my!
I wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
That didn't exist for us.
Wow.
What do you make of the landscape?
If you got $10 to go do laundry, you got you're on probation.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a violation, man. We're going to have to report you. Like, what do you make of the landscape of college sports right now? DeMarco and I, we talk about this all the time. About he played football at Washington. I was a baseball player at UC Santa Barbara, and we didn't have anything, right? You just kind of went and you did your thing, and now guys move every year. Guys are on a different team, different coach. They're shopping their services, and I'm glad players are getting a little piece of the pie. But at the same time, I feel like we've lost the plot.
Yeah, aren't you proud to be a Husky?
I am. Woof.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Especially then.
And a Gaucho. I mean,
Cori Close is Gaucho too.
I know. I called her games when she was playing. She was tough. You don't have the rivalries, and you have players. You can go to 5 different colleges.
Wow.
And but it's about this, and it'll be interesting because we know that it's only a small percentage of those athletes that are making that kind of money. And then you go to Caitlin Clark, what she made in at Iowa. But I'll go back even further. Ralph Sampson.
Oh boy.
Ralph in Virginia. He got offered to come out after his sophomore year. He said, you can't afford to go pro.
Right.
Virginia. He was getting paid a lot of money at Virginia. And that's back in the 80s, right?
Oh, wow.
But now it's so different. And where does it stop? Because there are a lot of athletes that are not getting paid. And but to transfer to get more money, and you can understand. I know that Texas, the state of Texas, a lot of those schools have a lot of money, and so we're seeing both men and women, whether it's softball, football, whatever, they're transferring to these schools to get paid. And the SEC's got a lot of money too, besides the Big 12. But where does it stop? How do you control it? I don't know. I think a lot of schools are hiring general managers, and for each sport too.
Sure.
Especially for basketball and football.
Wow.
But I don't know. I don't know where it goes.
I don't think
The
anybody does.
NCAA can't control
I don't
the
think
horses
anybody
out the
does.
barn.
Last one before we let you go. Obviously, you're one of the recipients of one of the awards tonight at the OC Sports Awards. Growing up in this community, getting a chance to be honored by the people in this community, what does that mean to you?
Oh, a lot. I mean, my heart is still here in Orange County. I live in Huntington Beach now, but I work for the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, so I'm kind of back and forth. And, my late husband, who grew up in Van Nuys and is an L.A. guy, but he worked for the Angels for so many years, so to come back here is pretty special. And Orange County is always going to be in my heart, and to be recognized with so many other people that are qualified that are being honored tonight, it's pretty special.
Ann Meyers Drysdale, one of the honorees.
Thank you so much,
tonight.
guys.
Thank you. Sports Awards.
Hopefully it's not the last time I see you guys.
I hope not.
Real quick, you have any advice for girl dad coaches?
Girl dad.
Me. Yeah.
Be tough.
Be tough?
I do think you got to have fun.
Okay.
Right? Everything is about having fun. If you don't have fun, you're not going to work hard. But I remember I was going out when my daughter was younger, and I was helping some of the fathers going out and coaching basketball, and we were doing drills, and a lot of drills I do without the basketball.
Sure.
They were probably about 6 or 7 at the time. And one little girl goes, "These drills are stupid."
Yes.
The fundamentals.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And
Thanks,
congratulations.
guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. All right, Ann Meyers
Awesome.
Drysdale, thanks
Legend.
again. Really appreciate you. We're going to come back. DeMarco's going to give us a little bit of the far side.